Today, my topic is called crossing over. And this is, I can tell you, the most important message you will ever hear this year. I will repeat that. This message is the most important message you will hear this year because it is a life-changing message. It is a destiny-changing message. And the question I want you to ponder on today is, have I crossed over? Have I crossed over? But at the end of this message, you will know whether you have truly crossed over. There is a crossing over that is more important than simply crossing from one year to another. Among those who did not cross over physically are again two lots of people. The first lot of people crossed over from physical life to spiritual death. They were living, but they crossed over into death, spiritual death. And the second group of people crossed over from physical life to spiritual life. To spiritual life. So crossing over from physical life to spiritual life is what I want to talk about today. It is called the bridge illustration, and you will see why. You will see why. The first point that I want to make is that there is a separation between man and God. There is a separation between man and God. When I say man, I always make a disclaimer here. Man means both men and women. It's a generic term. So there's a separation between man and God. And you see that separation right there. Why is there this separation? We see the answer in the book of Isaiah, and I will turn there now to Isaiah, and I'm going to go to chapter 59, and I'm going to read verses 1 and 2. Isaiah 59 and verses 1 and 2, which says, "Surely the arm of the Lord is not too short to save, nor his ear too dull to hear. But your iniquities have separated you from your God. Your sins have hidden his face from you, so that he will not hear." Okay? So there are two things here that have separated us from God. Number one is iniquities. Iniquities. Hope you can read that. And number two is sin. All right? Iniquities and sin. What is the difference between iniquity and sin? Sin is breaking the law of God. The Bible is the book of the law. There's the Old Testament and the New Testament. And if we break any of the laws that are in here, it is called sin. Okay? You personally can break that law. But for iniquities, those are the sins of our forefathers. They are sins that somebody committed before you came, and you are suffering as a result of that sin. That is called an iniquity. Now, this separation that you see here, there are people that tell us, you know what? In any case, I've just told you that we need to pray instead of worry. There are people who tell us that whenever you pray, God hears your prayer. But let me read a verse to you today from Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 15, which says, "When you spread out your hands in prayer, I will hide my eyes from you. Even if you offer many prayers, I will not listen." Why? It says, "Your hands are full of blood. Wash and make yourselves clean. Take your evil deeds out of my sight. Stop doing wrong and learn to do right." Why was God telling the Israelites that even if they offered many prayers, he would not listen to them? It was because they were sinning. They were sacrificing their children in the fire, the same hands that they used to kill their children is the same hands they use to raise to God. And that's why God said, even if you raise your hands, even if you offer many prayers, I will not listen. So there is a situation where God does not listen. And we are going to find out why. So this separation that you see here, we need to understand that man will always try to solve his problems. Hence, we have the telephone, which was solved when people realized when they're far away they cannot communicate. Somebody created the light bulb, okay? Because we realized we can do more in the light than we can do in darkness. Somebody created the car. We needed to move faster to where we are going. So man has been created to solve his problems. If you put your hand on a hot stove, you will quickly remove it. If you're walking across the road and you see a motorbike coming and overtaking another one and coming towards you, you're not going to just walk slowly, isn't it? You are going to walk very fast past that road. In the same way, and also it's because God is a creator and we are made in his image. So we are always trying to create. In the same way, man has tried to create ways of crossing over this divide and going to God's side. What are some of the things that man has created so that they can get to the other side of God? I will see there's one here. It doesn't quite reach the other side, but it is man trying to solve his problem. And what is this one? Going to church. Okay? Going to church alone is not going to get me to the other side. What else? Man has created something else here. Okay? Singing in the choir. Okay? It does not get you to the, almost, but it doesn't quite get to the other side. What else? This one, there's just almost a millimeter that stops you from reaching the other side. It's called tithing. Okay? Feel like, oh, but I tithe. So I'm on the other side of God. This one will shock many people. Praying. Did you not tell us to pray? Yes, I did. But praying on its own, there are people who pray before meals. They pray for any reason. But praying alone is not going to get me to the other side. Okay? What else? Marrying a Christian. There are people, if I can just marry a Christian, I'll be sorted out. Okay? And go to heaven. Marry a Christian. And it goes on and on. Because man is trying to get to the other side. All these things are called by one name. They are called works. They are called works. And we are going to find out what God says about works. Many times, and there are many churches where we go to, and we are always being told, do good things, just do good things, and you'll be on God's right side. Just do good works. What does the Bible say about doing good works? And we see this in Ephesians chapter 2 and verses 8 and 9. And I will read it for us. For it is by grace you have been saved through faith. This is not from yourselves. It is the gift of God. So we are being told that whatever it is we are trying to work for is actually a gift. It is actually a gift from God. All right? Then we are being told whatever it is, verse 9, not by works, so that no one can boast. Not by works, so that no one can boast. Because if I go to church and you don't go to church, I can boast and say, I go to church, you don't go to church. So I am on this side, you're on this side. Somebody else will say, I sing in the choir. You don't sing in the choir. Because when we did auditions, they left you, they took me. Okay? Tithing. I tithe and you don't. I pray more than you. And I married a Christian. Okay? Whenever I go from, wherever I've been, I go home to a Christian. You don't go home to a Christian. You go home to somebody who's not a Christian. So I am on the other side and you are not. The Lord is saying it is not by works. The second verse that I want us to read is from Titus chapter 3 and verse 5. And what does it say? It says, He saved us not because of righteous things we had done. Whoa! So what are you going to do with all my righteous things? He says He saved us not because of all the righteous things that we have done, but because of His mercy. Okay? He saved us because of His mercy. So works, although the church emphasizes it, will never get us to the side of God. Will never get us to the side of God.